The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Joe Salemi here with DynaSCAPE Software. Thanks for joining us for part two in the webinar series for the sophisticated business system for the professional landscape company. Today, we're talking about managing your sales pipeline for success. And I just want to let everybody know that we will have some time for questions and answers, and you can access to be able to type in questions in the control panel for GoToWebinar. Just open up the questions control panel and type in your question there, and I'll be sure to do my best to get to all of the questions so that we can make sure everybody gets an answer. So today we're going to focus on how Manage360 can help you set up your pipeline for success and then continue on to manage that through your salespeople, and whether or not you're the one doing the sales or you have someone else or a team of people doing sales. So first of all, high level, for those of you that weren't able to join us in our last segment where we introduced Manage360, Manage360 at a very high level is a complete operating system for full service landscape companies, whether you do landscape design build, maintenance services, snow removal, irrigation. Manage360 will handle how you operate those functions. So from a budgeting perspective, sales management, or a customer resource management perspective, and that's what we're going to cover today. A full landscape design system, so outside of Manage360, what DynaSCAPE is known for is our premium landscape design solutions. Very strong estimating system within Manage360, full contract management, including change orders, production management, being able to get your purchase orders and do your material ordering, scheduling of your crews, tracking your crews through our mobile app, of course, doing the billing and reporting. And so let's talk about the majority of how sales come up within landscape business. The majority of ways that I hear about from our clients and the many landscape companies that I get to talk to, the majority of sales come through word of mouth. And while that's fantastic, and at the end of the day, it doesn't cost you anything, is it really sustainable? And that's one of the things we really have to take into consideration. And from some of our clients, we've heard this season that word of mouth kind of got them through the busy part of the spring, but now into the summer, they really have to start pushing through some of their sales campaigns. And so really want to talk through, is word of mouth really sustainable anymore? And is that something you can rely on moving into the future? First of all, it's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's built on your reputation and past jobs. Someone will have gotten work done by you. They love the experience. They love the quality of work. So they're going to tell people. They're going to tell their friends. Someone who asks if they have a professional landscape contractor that they'd recommend, you're going to recommend them, and they're going to give you a call. A lot of it is based on client experience. So if the client has a great experience with you, then when someone's asking for recommendations, they're going to recommend you. So yeah, word of mouth absolutely is a great sales tactic and something that you can help foster. But let's not think of it as a sustainable way to do sales anymore. Yeah, you can definitely get good and profitable work from it. But how do you really take your sales to the next level? And that's what we're going to cover next in, setting up a true strategic approach to your selling, and being able to identify who your ideal client is. So, go through and role play, understand who the actors are. And when I say actors, I mean, who are the people that you want to appeal to as a company? Are you a high-end luxury landscape company? Do you tend to focus on huge jobs, or do you focus on smaller jobs? And being able to do a lot of volume over the course of a season rather than a couple of small, or a couple of very large projects. So understanding who your ideal client is will help you, and that way you can focus all of your branding on that audience, so that all of the collateral that you have is focused 100% on trying to qualify the right client for you. So your website, your brochures, your business cards, your signage, everything that talks about your company should have the feeling, the brand, the experience of who the target client is. You want to develop an experiential sales process that fits your audience. For an example, high-end landscape companies, you may have a showroom or a presentation room in your office, and so at least one of the sales meetings that occur during the process will happen at your office. It's very, very experiential, and that's really what you want to get down to, is developing what the experience is going to be like for that particular ideal client. And maybe you have a couple of degrees of ideal clients, and so you should have processes that match each one of those. And so, one of the successes that I've found um, in my experience is the ability to sell without selling. And at the end of the day, everybody in the company is a salesperson, but how do you get to do that without coming across as a, quote unquote sales person? Um, and you want to be able to develop a relationship. And when you have a clearly defined relationship, one that you've built on based on trust, integrity, ethics, all of those things, leads you down a path where they trust you enough to engage in your services and pay you to do that. So, at the very fundamental, how do you do that? Well, be friendly. Don't come across as abrasive. Just be yourself and be open. Show empathy. Show understanding. Um, a lot of times, what will happen is, a family will want to have a renovation done with their yard because they just need either they need an update, or they've moved into a new house that just wasn't taken care of, or they're just tired of what they have and they want a refresh. Show some understanding, show some experience that you've dealt with this many, many times and you have the right solution for them. Be honest with them. Not everything is going to go perfectly. Help them understand that. The process can be difficult at times to navigate. Um, there's going to be some complexities as part of this. Their property is not going to look good during the build. Things can get messy. There's going to be changes in schedule, material availability, all of those things. Prepping your potential client for that and being very open and honest and transparent about the process and the experience definitely goes a long way. Be authentic, be real, um, be who you are, and that's what will ultimately help win over that relationship. Being genuine is huge, and that just gets you a long, long way in building that relationship. And so then, okay, so we have defined how to build a relationship, strategic selling, building the brand, not relying so much on word of mouth, but building out now a framework for sales so that it's something that is now built within the fabric of how your company operates. So creating the framework. First of all, take stock. Do you have a standard operating procedure for sales? For the most part, you probably have SOPs for how the crews operate, how purchasing should be done, how estimating should be done, all of those things. Do you have one for sales? If you do, it's time to review it. So what does it look like? Do you have clearly identified phases within your sales framework? Do your salespeople stick to that? Do you stick to that? All questions you need to start asking. So when you're looking at developing the framework for your sales process, involve your salespeople. A process that's built in collaboration with your team is one that tends to get buy-in more than a process that you've come up with and have now downloaded to your team and said, okay, this is now the process, go and follow it. Well, there's going to be some kind of pushback. People are going to solve for gaps in it on their own. So involve your team and do it in with a collaborative style. You'll have much more success in the adoption of the process. So how do you go about it? Well, develop what you think you should have, and there's lots and lots of research on best practices for both developing sales processes, what's included in a sales process. But just take stock of what you do now, put that on a piece of paper, review it with the team, iterate based on drafts and improvements, and then implement it. So once you've implemented it, you'll execute it. Continue to review it, improve, and repeat. So, constantly engage in a continuous improvement model, and you'll just continuously just get better and better at what you do. So now let's move into how technology can really help with all of that. And so using technology for sales. And we've all heard of CRM or customer resource management systems. And there's big names out there like Salesforce and HubSpot and Fusionsoft, Zoho. Um, so if you're using one of those, fantastic. They're extremely powerful and have sales best practices built directly within those. But today we're going to look at how Manage360 can help and assist with the build out of your sales framework, execution of your sales framework, and management and review of that, of your whole sales process. So first of all, using any kind of technology to assist in your sales can help document the process. It'll help automate the tedious tasks. It'll leverage capacity. So what one person might have been able to do before, doing all the data entry and the follow up and having to set manual reminders and those kinds of things, now increases the capacity on a person by person basis, and definitely has increased the amount of capacity for each available salesperson that you have. They'll help you utilize best practices both in sales and specific to the landscape industry. And very importantly, will help you make sure that nothing slips through the cracks, like following up with a client after the initial meeting, or um, the setting up of your sales presentation, um, and confirming dates and times and those kinds of things. Just making sure nothing slips through the cracks, and then reporting, being able to measure all of your activities. So being able to see all the opportunities that are in your pipeline, being able to see all of the estimated um, revenue that's sitting there waiting to be closed, the opportunities based on where they're at within the sales pipeline. So all those kinds of things, being able to see at a moment's notice and being able to pull reports and um, taking stock of performance. So let's take a look and see how DynaSCAPE through Manage360 can help with all of this. And here we have the sales and estimating part of Manage360. And we're going to look at the sales part of this, where we have the sales pipeline, a centralized price list, and the sales framework. We're not so much going to take a look at the material takeoff or the proposals just yet. That'll be in our next webinar next week. So Manage360 can help manage every phase of the sales process. It'll be able to identify and focus on the best opportunities for you at a given time. It'll help you grow your revenue, and it'll help you get the big picture, so you can see all of the opportunities within the company. You can drill down by division and by salesperson. And it'll help you analyze performance of your salespeople and organization as a whole, so you can really see how people are doing, and where they can either improve or focus their efforts on to close more deals. And of course, schedule appointments. And so through our task system, be able to do that, and then manage follow-ups. So let's deke into Manage360, and we'll take a look at just how that all happens inside of the application. So when you first sign in, just like how we saw last week, you're presented with all of the tasks that you're set to follow up on. And here are all of my tasks, but I can also go in and see everybody's tasks within the company. So if I went and looked at Alyssa's open tasks, I could see what she's up to, what Matthew's up to, all the stuff that he's done as well, all the closed ones. And I can edit my views. I can create a new view or go into another view and edit that as well. So under sales, we have opportunities. In our reports, we have all of the sales-based reports here. So you can generate a Christmas card by exporting a client list. You can get a full report of all of your contacts. You can do a new client list, opportunity list by salesperson. So all of those things. But let's go and look at within the settings in under opportunity settings, you can set out all of your opportunity types, your lead sources, so where people are hearing about you. If you're doing sponsored Facebook posts or paid Instagram posts or anything like that, you can track your lead sources in here. You set out all of your sales phases. The reasons why either you win or lose your deals can all be set out here. So let's first take a look at our sales phases, because this is where we're going to build out the sales process and document it, and help everyone that takes a look at the report have an understanding of what the process is, and understand where they are within the pipeline and what their probability of close is with respect to where they are in the pipeline. So we have all of our sales phases set up here for construction, and then maintenance, and then holiday lighting in here. So always starts off with prospecting, setting up for construction, setting up a consultation date, then presenting a landscape design agreement. Once they have signature on that, putting together the estimate or the quote, then setting up a meeting to present that, confirming the proposal meeting date. The date has been set and presented. Any kind of negotiation or review, any kind of follow-up, a revision that's needed, long-term follow-up if the potential client didn't go through with it right away. Anything longer than 3 months, it'll get put on hold, or the project's won. So if you have a different process, that's cool. Just make sure it's set up within Manage360, and if you want to add a new sales phase, you can go ahead and do that, and you enter the name, any kind of code that you can want to be able to refer to, a description of the phase, how long that the potential client should be in that phase, and what their probability of close is in relation to where they are within the sales phase or the sales funnel. So now that we have that, we can go back and check out all of our opportunity types. And so we have residential or commercial. We could set out small residential, medium-sized residential, large estate residential, small commercial, medium commercial, like those kinds of differentiating factors that could help you understand the types of opportunities that you have. Here we have just set to residential and commercial. And then, of course, your lead sources and where those are all set up from. So is it a referral? Is it a Facebook ad? Is it an open house that you've done? Is it anything related to any of the advertising or marketing initiatives that you have engaged in? And so when we go and look at a list of our accounts, we can pull one up. So we'll look at an account and we can see where they are. They're currently an existing client, but they saw a digital ad that we ran on a particular date. The opportunities that we have for them. And so here we see the opportunity is closed. We can change that to open. And currently they're in the prospecting phase and they were due June 2016. But they've since come back and we can update that. And we're now looking at that as of today. Let's give them a week to follow up. And we can change that from now prospecting to a consultation date. And now they're a part of that phase. And as we go along, going through and making sure you update that, and that your salespeople update that based on where they are within the sales phase. And based on where they are, we're setting a consultation date with them. Based on that, through our experience and our history, we know that that puts us at about 25% to close rate on that particular account. So being able to see all of that is very, very important. And then under sales, we can see all of our opportunities and absolutely everything that is in the system. So we can sort it by due date and have all of them just ready to go and be able to see those. And you can see that here's the most recent one that we just looked at. And within this list, we can manage our sales pipeline from here. So they're in the proposal meeting date phase. So we're going to set up a meeting date with them and have that ready to go. So you can see a lot of our accounts or opportunities are in the prospecting phase. So when we go into reports, we can see that we have a number of reports that we can pull, like our pipeline report and new opportunities for landscape construction. And some of these reports are customized to the business. So you can go ahead and create a new report if you want as well. And all of the standard out-of-the-box sales-based reports are all here. So if we wanted to go and look at new opportunities for our landscape construction division, we can do that. So as of January 1st, so let's go to today, and we'll do it for landscape construction. And we want to see all of the new opportunities. So we'll hit view report, and it'll go ahead and generate the report, and we'll be able to see all of the new opportunities that have been entered since then. So when you do that, you can use that as a tool to gauge how many new opportunities are coming in. You can see the pipeline report to show just how much potential sales we have. You can see where they are in the sales phase. So if we select them all, we can see every opportunity or just what's happening within a particular sales phase. So there's a huge amount of flexibility in the reporting. If there's a particular way that you want to be able to present the data that's inside of Manage360, you can absolutely do that. And then just being able to manage your sales opportunities based on who's around and that kind of thing is hugely, hugely important. And being able to see everyone that's in negotiation review is key as well. So being able to focus on who is in a particular phase right now so that you can focus your attentions on that and try and get them to close is just very, very important as well. So that's really the sales function of Manage360. So being able to see the opportunities, the phases that they're in, the due dates, who the salesperson is, their probability of close, and any kind of estimated budget that they have as part of that opportunity is just great information at your fingertips and ready to go. My name is Joe Salemi. I'm the product marketing manager with DynaSCAPE software. My contact information is on the screen. If you have any questions, any feedback, we'd love to hear from you. Next week, we'll be looking at estimating for success and getting your cost book set up so that things are just ready to go out of the gate and just set up as efficiently as possible so that your estimating can happen as accurate and efficient as you can possibly get it to be. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye for now.